All right, number 18. Number 18, it says f of x is equal to x squared plus 3. G of x is equal to 2x minus 3. What are true? So basically, we're going to input all of our values in parentheses and for the x's of the corresponding equations. So when it says f of 4, we're going to plug in 4 for the x of in all the f equations. And then when it says g of 11, we're going to plug in 11 for the x in the g equation. So this is saying what is 4 squared plus 3 equal to 2 times 11 minus 3. 4 squared is 16 plus 3 is going to be 19. 2 times 11 is 22 minus 3, which is also 19. That works out nicely. Let's see which one of the other ones are true. We're plugging in negative 4 this time for our x. Don't forget to wrap that in parentheses because we're squaring. So that one says negative 4 squared plus 3 is equal to 2 times negative 11 minus 3. And I know that's going to be positive 16 again, plus 3. And this one's going to be negative 22 minus 3. And this will be 19 is equal to negative 25, which I know is not true. B, it says f of negative 3. So once again, wrapping it in parentheses, negative 3 squared plus 3 is equal to 2 times 8 minus 3. So I have negative 3 squared, which is 9 plus 3, is equal to 2 times 8, which is 16 minus 3. And I get 9 plus 3 is 12. And I get 16 minus 3 is 13. That is not true. All right. Let's see. This one says 4. So 4 squared plus 3 and 2 times negative 9 minus 3. 4 squared is going to give us 16 plus 3. 2 times negative 9 is negative 18 minus 3. 16 plus 3 is going to give us 19, and negative 18 minus 3 is going to give us what? Negative 21. Run through real quick and check on my work. 16 minus 3. Yep. 9 plus 3. Yep. That's not true. That one's not true. And 16 plus 3 is 19. Yep. All right. So our answer is A. 19. James borrows $1,080 from his grandma. What does the x-intercept represent? What's true at the x-intercept? Is x 0 at the x-intercept? Or is y 0 at the x-intercept? Which one is x? Which one is y? Remember, x is usually time. Y is usually money. So, x says at the x-intercept, so that must be when y is paid off. So we would say that it took him 24 months to pay grandma back. Okay, it took him 24 months to make that value equal to 0. All right, number 20. Number 20, a building casts a 103-foot shadow at the same time that a 32-foot flagpole casts a 34.5-foot shadow. How tall is the building? This is a ratio question. You can draw a picture to make it easier for yourself. So we have a 103-foot shadow. From an unknown tall building, and then we have a 32-foot flagpole casts a 34.5-foot shadow. One thing we see is that everything is in feet already. Feet. So how tall is the building? Probably also in feet. We're going to set up a ratio. This one is x because we don't know it yet. So x over 103 is equal to 32 over 34.5. Notice how we set them up. This has everything to do with the building over here on the left-hand side. This has everything to do with the flagpole over here on the right-hand side. But in the numerator, we're talking about the actual height of the objects. And then in the denominator, we're talking about the length of the shadow, right? So we have it set up to where everyone is talking to each other correctly, right? So we have all the building stuff on one side, all the flag stuff on the other, all the height stuff in the numerator, all the shadow stuff in the denominator. So we just cross multiply from there, and we get 34.5. X is equal to 103 times 32. And that gives you 3,296. We're going to divide both sides by 34.5. And we're going to get X, or the height of the building, is 95 point, let's call it 5, 4 feet. I don't remember if it has to, let's see, does it say simplify? Round to the nearest tenth. So, 95.5 feet. All right. Number 21. This one's pretty straightforward. Solve for y. So we're going to do 1/5. We're going to distribute 1/5 on each of those. We're going to get negative 33 is equal to 9 minus y. We're going to subtract 9 on both sides. And we're going to get negative 33 minus 9, which is negative 42, is equal to negative y. Don't forget your negatives. And we're going to divide by negative 1 on both sides, or just get rid of the negative sign. And we're going to say y is equal to positive 42. Okay. Number 22. There's a formula for height and time. It says where t is the time in seconds. What is the height after 3 seconds? So we know that t is time. T is time. So we're going to say 3 for all of our t's. So we have negative 16 times 3 squared plus 63 times 3. So I know negative 16 times 9 plus 63 times 3. You can type that in your calculator straight away. I'm going to do it one piece at a time, just so you can see it on my paper. So negative 16 times 9 is going to give us negative 144. And then 63 times 3 is a little bit more than that. We're going to combine those like terms. And we're going to get 45. So we're going to get 3, 45. Or if it says what is the height, we're going to get 45 feet. All right. This next one, solve this one. We have 8 minus, let me see if that's what's written on here. 8 minus, in parentheses, 4x plus 7 is less than 13. So first thing we're going to do is distribute that negative symbol to everything inside the parentheses. Remember, it doesn't go to the x, it just goes to the number in front of x. So we end up with 8 minus 4x minus 7 is less than 13. Combine like terms, and we'll get negative 4x plus 1 is less than 13. Subtract 1 on both sides, and I get negative 4x is less than 12. And we divide by negative 4. Your spidey senses should be tingling when I divide by a negative value. I'm going to do what? I'm going to flip my sign. So 12 divided by negative 4 is going to give me negative 3. But this says x is greater than negative 3. Right. Number 24, an airplane is spotted 13,275 feet in the air. Its descent is at a rate of 22.5 feet per minute. How long will it take to reach the ground? We know that we want it to be at 0 feet, right? So how many minutes will it take to hit 0 feet? We are simply dividing 13,275 divided by its rate, 22.5 feet per minute. And that's going to give us How long will it take to reach the ground? It's talking about per minute. So it wants to know how many minutes, and that's going to be 590 minutes. All right. 25. What is the zero of the function? What does the zero mean? The zero is when y is equal to 0, right? So if we know what is the zero of the linear function, we want to know when y is equal to 0. So 0 is equal to negative 2/5 x minus 10. Add 10 on both sides. I get 10 is equal to negative 2/5 x. I divide both sides by negative 2/5. And what is 10 divided by negative 2/5? That is negative 5/2. Another way I could have done that is multiply both sides by, what is that? Negative 5/2 to get rid of all that stuff, right? You could have multiplied both sides by negative 5/2, and I get x is equal to negative 25. All right. If y varies directly with x and y is equal to 36 when x is 15, what is the value of y when x is 24? So this one is going to be another cross multiplication question. I'm going to say 15 over 36 is equal to 24 over x, cross multiply, and I get 15x is equal to 36 times 24, which is 864. Divide both sides by 15, and I get x is equal to 57.6. All right, 27.2 comma 7 and k comma 3, and the slope is 4/3. Find k. You remember our slope is determined by y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'm going to label this x1, y1, x2, y2. And then I'm going to say y2, 3, minus y1, 7, over x2, k, minus x1, 2. And I'm going to make that equal to 4/3. Okay? Now, I have 3 minus 7, which gives me negative 4, over k minus 2. K minus 2. I need them to be equal, so I'm going to do a simple cross multiplication. I'm going to reset it up over here for you so it's equal, or so it's easier. Negative 4 over k minus 2. I'm going to put that in parentheses and cross multiply. I get negative 12 over on this side, and I get that equal to 4 times k minus 2. Distribute, and I get negative 12 is equal to 4k minus 8. I add 8 to both sides, and I get negative 4 is equal to 4k divided by 4, and I get k is equal to negative 1. So when I put in negative 1 here, I should get this positive answer right here. Got it? All right. Let's go ahead and do that real quick, show our work. Do I have enough time? Yes, I do. Let's see. So this one would be negative 1, and we get negative 4 over negative 1 minus 2, which will give us negative 3. But negative 4 over negative 3 does give us positive 4 over 3. Negative divided by negative is a positive. All right, I'm going to stop this one, and it looks like we have 3 questions left.